Dr. Lisa Martinez rubbed her tired eyes and stared at the computer screen again. The numbers still looked wrong. She had been watching the sun for 3 years now, tracking every solar flare and magnetic storm, but today something was different. "Kevin, come look at this," she called to her colleague across the lab. Dr. Kevin Brooks rolled his chair over to Lisa's desk. The Arecibo Deep Space Observatory was quiet at this hour. Most of the other scientists had gone home for dinner. Only Lisa stayed late, always checking the data one more time. "What's got you so excited?" Kevin asked, adjusting his glasses. Lisa pointed at the screen. "Look at these gravity readings. There's something wrong with the measurements around the sun." Kevin squinted at the numbers. "Probably just a computer glitch. When did you last calibrate the sensors?" "Yesterday," Lisa said. "And the day before that." "Kevin, I've been doing this for years. I know what normal looks like. This isn't normal." The gravity measurements showed a tiny pull coming from behind the sun. It was so small that most people would miss it. But Lisa had sharp eyes for details. She noticed everything. "Maybe it's a big asteroid," Kevin suggested. "Or space junk from one of the old missions." Lisa shook her head. "Too big. Way too big. Look at these calculations." She pulled up another screen full of numbers. "Whatever's out there, it's huge. Like really huge." Kevin looked more carefully now. His casual attitude started to fade. "How huge are we talking about?" "Based on the gravity readings? About the size of our moon." Kevin went quiet. He knew Lisa was smart. If she said something was wrong, it usually was. "Where exactly is this thing?" Lisa brought up a map of the solar system on her screen. She pointed to a spot directly opposite Earth with the sun in between. "Right there, at the L3 point." The L3 Lagrange point was a special place in space. It sat on the opposite side of the sun from Earth. Anything there would be completely hidden from view. It was the perfect hiding spot. "That's impossible," Kevin said. "We would have seen it by now, would we?" Lisa asked. "When do we ever look directly behind the sun?" "We can't see through it." Kevin was starting to get worried. "Lisa, if there's really something that big out there, we need to tell someone." Right now, Lisa was already reaching for her phone. She scrolled through her contacts until she found the number for Dr. Ryan Davis, the NASA administrator. Her hand shook a little as she dialed. "Dr. Davis, this is Lisa Martinez at Arecibo. I'm sorry to call so late, but we have a situation." 20 minutes later, Lisa's phone rang again. This time it was General Patricia Cole from Space Command. Her voice was sharp and serious. "Dr. Martinez, I need you to send me everything you have, right now. And I need you to keep this information classified until further notice." "Yes, ma'am," Lisa said. "But General, what do you think it is?" "I don't know yet, but if your calculations are right, we're dealing with something that shouldn't exist." Within hours, the small observatory was buzzing with activity. Military vehicles arrived in the parking lot. Scientists from NASA and other agencies flew in on emergency flights. Everyone wanted to see Lisa's data. Commander Jake Sullivan was one of the first to arrive. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He led Space Command's emergency response team. His job was to figure out if aliens were a threat to Earth. "Show me what you found," he said to Lisa. Lisa pulled up her readings on the big screen in the main conference room. A dozen experts crowded around to look. "The object appears to be artificial," said Dr. Alex Chen, a scientist who studied the possibility of alien life. "Natural objects don't hide in Lagrange points." "How long has it been there?" Commander Sullivan asked. "We don't know," Lisa admitted. "It could have been there for years. Maybe decades. We've never had reason to look." Dr. Sam Torres, a physicist, was studying the gravity data. "Commander, this thing is massive. If it really is a spacecraft, it's bigger than anything we could ever build." "What are its capabilities?" Sullivan asked. "Unknown," Torres said. "But something that big could carry weapons we can't even imagine." The room went quiet. Everyone was thinking the same thing. If this was an alien ship, why was it hiding? What was it watching? And what did it want? General Cole's voice came through the video link from Washington. "People, I need answers. The president is asking questions I can't answer yet." Dr. Linda Foster, who worked on breaking secret codes, spoke up. "General, we should try to make contact. If they wanted to hurt us, they probably would have done it already. Or maybe they're just studying us first," said Admiral Jack Morrison through another video link. "Like scientists studying lab rats." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. The idea of being watched and studied by aliens was terrifying. But it was also exciting. This could be the most important discovery in human history. We need more information, Commander Sullivan decided. Lisa, I want you to keep monitoring. Everyone else start working on ways to get a closer look at this thing. How do we get closer? Asked Captain Maya Henderson, who had just arrived from the Space Center. It's hidden behind the sun. We send a ship around, Sullivan said. The long way. Over the next few days, telescopes around the world turned toward the L3 point. They couldn't see the object directly, but they could measure its effects. Every piece of data confirmed Lisa's discovery. Something huge was hiding behind the sun. The object didn't move. It didn't send signals. It just sat there waiting, watching. News of the discovery started to leak despite all the security. Reporters began asking questions. World leaders demanded briefings. The public was starting to panic. Lisa worked around the clock gathering more data. She barely slept or ate. This discovery was her life's work, but it scared her too. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and they had no idea what their cosmic neighbors wanted. In her quiet moments, Lisa wondered if she should have kept the discovery secret. Life had been simpler when humans thought they were alone. Now everything was different. The whole world was about to change, and it all started with some strange numbers on her computer screen. But there was no going back now. The secret was out. Humanity was about to meet its first alien visitors, whether they were ready or not. President Nicole Harper sat at the head of the long table in the White House Situation Room. Video screens showed world leaders from every major nation. Everyone looked worried. Ladies and gentlemen, the president began, what we're about to discuss cannot leave this room. 3 days ago, our scientists discovered something extraordinary. She nodded to General Cole, who began the briefing. On the main screen, an image appeared showing the location of the alien ship. We have confirmed the presence of an artificial object behind our sun. It's roughly the size of Earth's moon. We believe it's been there for an unknown period of time. The French president spoke first. How do we know it's not one of our own satellites? Because we've never built anything that big, General Cole replied. And it's in a location that would require technology we don't possess. Dr. Alex Chen, the alien life expert, joined the video call from his lab. Mr. President, based on the positioning and behavior, I believe this is evidence of intelligent alien life. The room erupted in whispered conversations. The Japanese Prime Minister raised her hand. Have they made any attempt to communicate? Not yet, Dr. Chen said. But that changed an hour ago. A new voice joined the call. Dr. Tony Bell, a radio astronomer, appeared on screen. He looked exhausted but excited. We're receiving a transmission from the object. It's not random noise. It's definitely artificial. What kind of transmission? President Harper asked. Mathematical sequences, Dr. Bell explained. It started with prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Then it moved to universal constants. The speed of light, pi, Planck's constant. Dr. Linda Foster, the codebreaker, was studying the patterns on her computer. It's trying to establish a common language. Mathematics is universal. Any intelligent species would understand these concepts. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on another screen. He looked angry. This could be a trick. They might be testing our defenses while we waste time trying to talk to them. Admiral, President Harper said calmly, what do you recommend? A preemptive strike, Morrison said without hesitation. We have nuclear submarines that can launch missiles around the sun's gravity well. We could destroy that ship before it has a chance to attack us. The room went silent. Dr. Alex Chen shook his head. Mr. President, that would be the worst possible decision. If they have the technology to build something that massive, our weapons probably can't hurt them anyway. And if they're trying to communicate peacefully, attacking them could start a war we can't win. Captain Maya Henderson spoke up from the Space Center. There's another option. We could send a diplomatic mission. The UNS Endeavour is ready for deep space travel. We could reach the alien ship in about 6 weeks. Absolutely not, Admiral Morrison said. We're not sending humans into an alien trap. It's not a trap if they wanted to harm us, Dr. Chen argued. They could have done it already. They've been watching us, which means they know exactly what our capabilities are. President Harper looked around the room. Dr. Foster, can you respond to their transmission? Dr. Foster nodded. I can send back the same mathematical sequence. Let them know we understand. Do it, the president ordered. For the next hour, they watched as Dr. Foster sent mathematical messages to the alien ship. The responses came back quickly. The aliens sent more complex equations, geometric formulas, physics constants. They're getting more advanced, Dr. Foster observed. They're testing how much we know about science and mathematics. Dr. Sam Torres, the physicist, was amazed. Some of these equations are beyond our current understanding. They're teaching us while they test us. The Russian president joined the conversation. This is moving too fast. We need time to prepare our defenses. There's no time, Dr. Bell said urgently. I'm detecting similar signals from deep space. Multiple sources. I think this isn't the only alien ship out there. That news hit everyone like a cold wave. If there were more ships, Earth could be surrounded without anyone knowing it. Commander Sullivan entered the Situation Room. Mr. President, I recommend we accept Captain Henderson's proposal. We need to make contact before this situation gets out of control. President Harper looked at the faces on the screens around her. Some looked scared. Others looked excited. All of them looked to her for leadership. Captain Henderson, she said, how quickly can you launch? 48 hours, Maya replied. But I'll need to select a crew carefully. We're not just representing America. We're representing all of humanity. Choose your team, the president ordered. Dr. Chen, I want you on that ship. Dr. Foster, too. We need our best people for this mission. Admiral Morrison protested. This is madness. We're sending our people into the unknown with no backup plan. The backup plan is nuclear war, President Harper said firmly. I prefer diplomacy. Over the next 2 days, Captain Henderson assembled her crew. Along with Dr. Chen and Dr. Foster, she chose engineer Grace Parker, biologist Dr. Carl Lewis, and communications specialist Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Dr. Lisa Martinez continued monitoring the alien ship from her observatory. She noticed something new in the data. Commander Sullivan, she called. The ship is changing. Sullivan rushed to her station. What kind of changes? It's moving slightly. Very slowly, but it's definitely moving. And there's something else. She pulled up another screen. Energy readings are increasing. Whatever powers that ship, it's warming up. The news reached President Harper within minutes. She immediately called Captain Henderson. Maya, how fast can you launch? We're loading supplies now, Captain Henderson replied. But Mr. President, if that ship is powering up, maybe we should wait and see what it does. No, President Harper decided. If we wait, we might lose our chance. Launch as soon as you're ready. Dr. Alex Chen was already aboard the UNS Endeavour checking his equipment. He had dreamed of this moment his entire career. First contact with an alien species. But now that it was happening, he felt terrified. Lieutenant Rodriguez was testing the communication systems. Dr. Foster, are you sure we can talk to them? Mathematics got us this far, Dr. Foster replied. If they're intelligent enough to build that ship, they should be able to figure out what we're trying to say. As the Endeavour prepared for launch, news of the mission leaked to the public. Protests erupted in some cities. Religious groups declared it the end times. Scientists around the world celebrated. Stock markets crashed and recovered twice in one day. But aboard the Endeavour, the crew focused on their mission. They were about to take humanity's first steps into a larger universe. None of them knew if they would come back alive. But they all knew that someone had to try. Captain Henderson sat in her command chair as the final countdown began. Through the viewports, she could see Earth getting smaller. Behind them, they left a world full of fear and hope. Ahead of them waited the unknown. The alien ship continued sending its mathematical messages, but now the messages were getting more complex, more urgent, as if time was running out for something important. Humanity was about to get answers to questions they had asked for thousands of years. But they might not like what they learned. The UNS Endeavour had been traveling for 3 weeks when strange things started happening. Captain Maya Henderson was reviewing daily reports when engineer Grace Parker knocked on her door. Captain, we have a problem, Grace said, holding a tablet full of data. Something is scanning our ship. Maya looked at the readings. Energy patterns swept across their hull every few hours. The scans were gentle but thorough, like invisible hands examining every inch of the Endeavour. Any damage? Maya asked. None, Grace replied. But whatever is doing this knows everything about our ship now. Our weapons, our engines, even our life support systems. Dr. Carl Lewis, the biologist, entered the captain's quarters looking confused. Maya, I need to report something strange. The crew is having unusual dreams. What kind of dreams? Maya asked. Mathematical ones, Carl said. People are dreaming about equations they've never seen before. Complex formulas that they can't understand when they wake up. But during the dreams, everything makes perfect sense. Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez, who handled communications, had been listening from the doorway. Captain, I've been having those dreams too. Last night I dreamed about faster-than-light travel equations. When I woke up, I couldn't remember the math, but I remembered the feeling. Like I finally understood how the universe really works. Dr. Linda Foster joined them. I think they're trying to communicate with us through our dreams. Maybe their minds work differently than ours. That's impossible, Grace said. How could they affect our dreams from so far away? Maybe distance doesn't matter to them, Dr. Alex Chen said, appearing in the doorway. If they can build a ship that size, they probably have technology we can't imagine. Maya gathered her crew in the main meeting room. Through the viewports, they could see the sun growing larger. Soon they would swing around it and get their first look at the alien ship. People, we're about to make history, Maya said. But I need everyone to stay focused. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Dr. Chen was studying the latest scans of the alien ship. The energy readings are incredible. That ship is powered by something far beyond our technology. And look at this. He pointed to the screen. The ship isn't solid. It's hollow. Hollow? Grace asked. Like a giant shell, Chen explained. There's empty space inside. Lots of it. As they rounded the sun, the alien ship finally came into view. The crew gathered at the observation windows and stared in amazement. The ship was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Its hull curved like a living thing, smooth and organic. It was dark gray, almost black, but it seemed to shimmer with its own inner light, and it was enormous beyond belief. It's bigger than we thought, Grace whispered. Lieutenant Rodriguez was working frantically at her communication station. I'm detecting massive electromagnetic activity from the ship. They know we're here. Suddenly, the ship began to change. Panels on its surface opened like flower petals. Bright lights appeared in patterns that hurt to look at directly. Are they powering weapons? Maya asked. I don't think so, Dr. Foster said, studying the patterns. It looks more like a greeting. The ship sent a new transmission. This time it wasn't just mathematics. There were images mixed with the numbers. Pictures of stars, planets, and strange symbols that looked almost like writing. They're trying to show us something, Dr. Chen said excitedly. The images became clearer. They saw pictures of different worlds, different species, and different types of ships. Then they saw pictures that looked like Earth, but from long ago. They've been watching us, Maya realized. For a very long time, a new image appeared on their screens. It showed the alien ship opening up like a flower. Inside was a whole world of green spaces, flowing water, and strange structures that seemed to grow rather than being built. It's not just a ship, Dr. Lewis said in wonder. It's an entire ecosystem. Lieutenant Rodriguez received a new transmission. This time it included sound patterns along with the images. The sounds were beautiful, like music made of mathematics. I think they want us to come aboard, Emma said. Maya felt her heart racing. This was the moment everything would change. Emma, can you send a response? I can try, Emma said. She sent back their own images. Pictures of Earth, humans, and the Endeavor. She included music from Earth from different cultures around the world. The response came quickly. New images showed the interior of the alien ship in more detail. They saw vast gardens, flowing rivers, and structures that seemed to blend technology with nature. But most importantly, they saw the aliens themselves. The creatures were tall and graceful with skin that glowed softly with inner light. They moved like dancers, their long limbs flowing in ways that seemed impossible. They had large eyes that sparkled with intelligence and something that looked like kindness. They're beautiful, Dr. Lewis breathed. The aliens sent coordinates for a docking port. The images showed exactly where the Endeavor should go. Captain, Grace said nervously, once we dock with them, we'll be completely at their mercy. Maya looked around at her crew. Everyone was scared, but everyone was also excited. This was why they had come so far. Emma, send a message back. Tell them we accept their invitation. As the Endeavor approached the alien ship, new panels opened in its hull. The docking port was perfectly sized for their ship, as if it had been built specifically for them. How did they know what size to make it? Grace wondered. They've been scanning us for weeks, Dr. Chen reminded her. They know everything about our ship. The docking process was smooth and gentle. The alien technology guided the Endeavor into place with incredible precision. As the ships connected, the crew felt a slight vibration, then everything went quiet. Atmosphere readings? Maya asked. Grace checked her instruments. The docking tunnel has been filled with breathable air. They even got the pressure exactly right for humans. Lieutenant Rodriguez was receiving new transmissions. Captain, they're sending us a new message. It's different this time. On the main screen, a single image appeared. It showed one of the aliens standing in what looked like a meeting room. Behind the alien were symbols that clearly meant welcome, but there was something else in the image. Other pictures showing different alien species, all meeting in similar rooms. The message was clear. This had happened before with other races from other worlds. We're not their first contact, Dr. Chen realized. Maya stood up and straightened her uniform. People, we're about to represent all of humanity. Let's make a good impression. As they prepared to leave their ship and enter the alien vessel, Dr. Foster noticed something in the latest transmission. Hidden in the mathematical patterns was a warning. The numbers showed danger symbols mixed with pictures of other worlds. Captain, she called out, there's something else. They're not just here to say hello. I think they're here to warn us about something. But it was too late to turn back now. The airlock was opening and humanity was about to meet its first alien teachers. Whatever they had to say, the crew of the Endeavor would be the first humans to hear it. The future of Earth might depend on how well they could understand what the aliens were trying to tell them. The alien who called itself Guide stood 12 feet tall and moved like flowing water. Its skin glowed with soft blue light and its large eyes held the wisdom of ages. Captain Maya Henderson and her crew sat in chairs that had grown from the floor of the meeting room just moments before. Your species has reached a critical moment, Guide said, its voice somehow speaking perfect English despite having no visible mouth. We have watched many civilizations reach this same point. Most do not survive. Dr. Alex Chen leaned forward. What do you mean by critical moment? Guide gestured, and the walls around them became transparent, showing images of space. When a species discovers nuclear power and begins to travel between worlds, they face a choice. They can choose wisdom and join the community of peaceful worlds, or they can choose destruction and eliminate themselves. The images changed, showing beautiful alien worlds full of life and technology. Then the scenes shifted to show dead planets, their surfaces cracked and lifeless. How many species have you watched? Dr. Carl Lewis asked. Thousands, Guide replied sadly. In the past million years, we have observed 3,147 species reach your level of development. Only 312 chose wisdom. Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez felt a chill. What happened to the others? War, Guide said simply. They used their new technologies to fight each other until nothing remained. Engineer Grace Parker spoke up. But some survived. The 312 you mentioned. Where are they now? Guide smiled, an expression that somehow translated across species. They learned to work together. They joined the galactic community. They explore the universe in peace, sharing knowledge and helping younger species. Captain Henderson asked the question they were all thinking. What about humanity? Do you think we can choose wisdom? Guide was quiet for a long moment. Your species is unusual. We have been watching you for 200 of your years. You create beautiful art and music. You show great kindness to those who suffer, but you also fight terrible wars and harm your own world. Dr. Linda Foster noticed something in Guide's expression. You're not sure about us, are you? We are hopeful, Guide admitted. Humans show something rare. Most species are either peaceful or violent. You are both. You have the capacity for great evil and great good. This makes you unpredictable. The images around them changed again, showing scenes from Earth's history. Wars and peace treaties, environmental destruction and conservation efforts, acts of cruelty and acts of heroism. We have seen humans risk their lives to save strangers, Guide continued. We have also seen them destroy their own cities out of hatred. Your species contains contradictions that we do not fully understand. Dr. Steve Williams, the mission's ethicist, had been quiet until now. Guide, what would happen if we choose the wrong path? We would be forced to intervene, Guide said, its light dimming. We cannot allow a destructive species to spread beyond its home world. Too many innocent civilizations would be at risk. The crew exchanged worried glances. The implication was clear. If humanity failed this test, the aliens would stop them. Permanently. What kind of test do we have to pass? Captain Henderson asked. Guide gestured again and new images appeared. They showed a massive construction project in space, with ships from many different nations working together. The test is simple in concept, but difficult in execution, Guide explained. Your species must demonstrate that you can work together for a common goal. We will provide you with basic tools and plans. You must build a space station that serves all of your nations equally. Grace studied the plans appearing on the walls. This is massive. It would require cooperation from every major country on Earth. Exactly, Guide said, and it must be completed without conflict. No nation can claim ownership. No group can be excluded. Everyone must contribute and everyone must benefit equally. Dr. Chen looked worried. Guide, you don't understand human politics. Getting all our nations to agree on anything is nearly impossible. We understand more than you think, Guide replied. We have watched your United Nations struggle for decades. We have seen your wars over resources and territory. This is why the test is necessary. Lieutenant Rodriguez asked, what happens if we succeed? Guide's light brightened. We will share technology that will solve your energy problems and allow you to travel between stars. But more importantly, you will be welcomed into the galactic community. You will have teachers and friends among the stars. And if we fail? Dr. Williams asked. Your species will remain confined to your solar system until you learn wisdom, or until you destroy yourselves. The weight of Guide's words settled on the crew. They were being offered the greatest opportunity in human history, but the price of failure was unthinkable. How long do we have? Captain Henderson asked. 1 year, Guide said. The project must be completed and operational within that time. Back on Earth, the news of the alien test created chaos. President Harper called emergency sessions with world leaders. Some countries immediately agreed to participate. Others demanded to see the alien technology first. A few refused to cooperate at all. Admiral Morrison pushed for military action. This is obviously a trap. They're making us weak by forcing us to work together instead of defending ourselves. But Dr. Chen, speaking from the alien ship, disagreed. Admiral, I've seen their technology. If they wanted to conquer us, they wouldn't need tricks. They're giving us a genuine chance to prove ourselves. General Cole found herself caught between two viewpoints. The military wanted to prepare for war. The scientists wanted to build the space station. And the politicians wanted to do whatever would get them re-elected. Guide, Captain Henderson asked during one of their meetings, why do you care what happens to humanity? Why not just leave us alone? Guide paused as if deciding how much to reveal. Because we were once like you. Young, violent, unpredictable. Another species gave us the same choice you now face. They could have destroyed us when we failed our first test. Instead, they gave us another chance. You failed your first test? Dr. Lewis asked, surprised. We started a war over who would lead the project, Guide admitted. Millions died before we learned that cooperation was more important than pride. The elders, our teachers, waited for us to mature. When we tried again, we succeeded. Dr. Foster leaned forward. Who were the elders? What happened to them? Guide's light dimmed with sadness. They transcended physical existence long ago. But their wisdom lives on in those of us who choose to teach younger species. The conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from Earth. Lieutenant Rodriguez received the transmission and looked worried. Captain, there's a problem. Several countries are refusing to participate in the project. They think it's a waste of resources, and there are reports of military buildups in some regions. Guide listened to the report with obvious concern. This is how it begins. Fear leads to preparation for war. Preparation leads to suspicion. Suspicion leads to conflict. Can you give us more time? Captain Henderson pleaded. Time will not solve this problem, Guide said firmly. Your species must choose. Will you work together or will you fight each other? The decision must be made soon. As news of the crisis spread, protests erupted around the world. Some people demanded that their governments cooperate with the aliens. Others insisted that humanity should reject alien interference entirely. Dr. Williams looked at the plans for the space station and realized something important. Guide, this isn't really about building a space station, is it? Guide's expression became almost proud. You are wise to see the deeper truth. The station itself is not important. What matters is whether your species can overcome its divisions when faced with a challenge that affects everyone. The test had begun, and humanity's future hung in the balance. They had 1 year to prove they could work together. But first, they had to convince a divided world that cooperation was more important than national pride. The clock was ticking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. 6 months into the project, the International Unity Station was taking shape in Earth's orbit. Dr. Rachel Kim watched from the construction platform as workers from 12 different nations welded the massive framework together. It was the largest cooperative effort in human history, but it was also falling apart. The Russians are threatening to pull out, engineer Ben Carter reported to the construction team. They say the Americans are getting too much control over the central command module. Dr. Lisa Martinez, who had discovered the alien ship, was now coordinating the global effort from mission control. "Patch me through to Moscow," she said tiredly. This was the 15th crisis this week. The problems weren't just political. Colonel Frank Davis, a rogue military officer, had been secretly organizing resistance groups around the world. He believed humanity should reject the alien test entirely. "We're being manipulated," Davis declared in his underground broadcasts. "These aliens want to make us weak. United we stand, divided we fall, but enslaved we die." His followers had already attempted 3 sabotage attacks on construction sites. Each time, international security forces had stopped them, but barely. Captain Maya Henderson, back on Earth to help coordinate the project, received an urgent call from space. "Maya, we have a problem up here." Grace Parker's voice crackled through the radio. "What kind of problem?" Maya asked. "The fusion power core isn't working. The Chinese team says the American design is flawed. The American team says the Chinese modified it without permission. And the European team is threatening to install their own system." Maya rubbed her temples. Guide had warned them this would happen. National pride was more powerful than common sense. "Get everyone on a video call," Maya ordered. Now, within an hour, representatives from every participating nation were arguing on screens around the world. The Chinese delegate pointed fingers at the Americans. The Americans blamed the Russians. The Europeans complained that nobody listened to their suggestions. President Harper tried to maintain order. "People, we have 6 months left. If we don't finish this station, we fail the test." The Brazilian representative spoke up. "Maybe we should ask ourselves if this test is worth passing. Are we really ready to join an alien community? Ready or not, we don't have a choice," General Cole said firmly. "If we fail, they'll keep us trapped on Earth forever." Dr. Alex Chen, still aboard the alien ship, provided regular updates on Guide's reactions. The Watchers are disappointed but not surprised. Guide says this is exactly what happened to 3,535 other species. "What changed for the ones who succeeded?" President Harper asked. "They stopped thinking about what their individual nations would gain," Chen reported. "They started thinking about what their species would lose." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Carl Lewis, studying the biological systems aboard the alien ship, made a discovery that changed everything. "Guide," he said during one of their daily meetings, "I've been analyzing your ship's ecosystem. How do so many different life forms coexist without destroying each other?" Guide seemed pleased by the question. "Each organism contributes something unique to the whole. The flowering trees provide oxygen. The flowing streams carry nutrients. The small creatures maintain balance. No single species dominates because they all need each other. Like the station project," Lewis realized, "each nation has something unique to contribute." "Yes," Guide agreed. "But your species focuses on what each part takes rather than what each part gives." Lewis immediately sent this insight back to Earth. Dr. Lisa Martinez shared it with the project leaders, and slowly attitudes began to change. The Americans realized they needed Russian rocket expertise. The Russians admitted they needed American computer technology. The Chinese acknowledged that European safety systems were superior to their own, but Colonel Davis wasn't finished. His biggest attack came when the station was nearly complete. His followers infiltrated the main construction platform and planted explosives in the power core. Ben Carter discovered the bombs during a routine inspection. "Everyone off the platform now," he shouted into his radio, but there wasn't time to evacuate everyone. The platform held 200 workers from 15 different countries. If the bombs exploded, it would destroy months of work and kill dozens of people. "I can disarm them," Carter said, "but I need help. The system is too complex for one person." Without hesitation, workers from every nation volunteered to stay behind. A Russian engineer worked alongside an American technician. A Chinese scientist helped a German specialist. Former enemies worked as one team to save lives. They disabled the bombs with less than 30 seconds to spare. The near disaster had an unexpected effect. Instead of destroying cooperation, it strengthened it. People realized that when survival was at stake, nationality didn't matter. What mattered was working together. Colonel Davis was arrested, but his defeat was already complete. Humanity had chosen cooperation over conflict. In the final month, the station came together perfectly. The fusion reactor, built with technology from 6 nations, powered the entire structure. The life support systems designed by international teams could support thousands of people. The docking bays welcomed ships from every spacefaring nation. Dr. Rachel Kim stood in the station's central command center as the final systems came online. Through the massive viewports, she could see Earth below and the alien ship in the distance. All systems green, Ben Carter reported from his engineering station. The Unity station is fully operational. President Harper's voice came through the communication system from Earth. Congratulations, everyone. You've just proved that humanity can work together when it matters most. Guide appeared on the main screen, speaking from the alien ship. We are impressed. Your species has passed the test. Captain Henderson, now the station's first commander, asked the question everyone wanted answered. What happens now? Now you begin your real education, Guide replied. The alien ship began to glow more brightly. We will share the gift of clean fusion energy with your world. Your wars over oil and coal can end. Your pollution can be cleaned. New images appeared on the screen showing incredible alien technologies, faster-than-light communication systems, medical devices that could cure diseases, transportation that used no fuel and produced no waste. But, Guide continued, you will earn these technologies gradually. Wisdom cannot be rushed. Each advancement must be matched by growth in compassion and understanding. Dr. Steve Williams raised an important question. Will you stay and teach us? Guide's expression became both sad and hopeful. Some of us will remain to guide your early steps, but eventually you will become the teachers for the next young species that needs help. There are others out there? Dr. Lisa Martinez asked from Earth. Always, Guide replied. The universe is vast and full of life. Some species will be friendly. Others will not. Your real test begins now, as you learn to navigate a galaxy full of both wonders and dangers. As the celebration continued, Guide shared one final piece of information that changed everything. Captain Henderson, your species has something that makes it unique. Most races that pass our test do so through logic and careful planning. Humans pass through something else entirely. What do you mean? Maya asked. Courage, Guide said simply. When your engineer stayed behind to disarm those bombs, when workers from enemy nations chose to help each other, when your leaders put the future of your species above their own political power. We have observed many species, but few show such bravery in the face of the unknown. Dr. Chen smiled. So we're not just another species joining your community? No, Guide replied, its light brightening with something that looked like pride. You are the first species to pass our test not because you learned to think alike, but because you learned to act together despite thinking differently. This makes you very valuable to the galactic community. As the alien ship prepared to depart, leaving behind a small group of watchers to guide humanity's next steps, President Harper addressed the world. Today, we prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to choose cooperation over conflict when the future of our species depends on it. Dr. Lisa Martinez, looking up at the stars from her observatory, smiled as she watched the alien ship disappear into the vast cosmos. Her discovery had started humanity's greatest adventure. The Unity station orbited above Earth like a symbol of what humans could accomplish together. And in the depths of space, other young civilizations were taking their first steps toward the stars, wondering if they too would find teachers among the cosmic community. Humanity had passed its first test, but the universe was vast and greater challenges awaited among the stars. At least now they knew they wouldn't face them alone.